To optimize muscle development, you want to stimulate each muscle group more than once per week. Just like for optimal dental hygiene, you want to brush all your teeth more than once per week. You wouldn't designate a toothbrushing session to completely smash in 1/4 of your teeth while neglecting the other 3/4 till the following days of the week. But it's become the norm to do this with training. Many people, or even most people, designate a session to completely obliterating a muscle group, then training the other muscle groups in the following days and not rotating back to hitting the same muscle group until the next week. This is known as a body part split, and there is a much more effective way to train. And it's called full body training. Full body training is where you train every muscle group within a single training session. It's a training split I use, my clients use, and one that's becoming ever more popular in the evidence-based community. Why? Well, there's a growing body of evidence showing that training a muscle group at least twice per week is optimal for muscle and strength gains, as shown in a systematic review and meta-analysis done by Schoenfeld and colleagues. This means more conventional training splits, such as bro splits, where a muscle is stimulated only once per week, are a suboptimal approach. As a coach, it's my job to ensure each client obtains the best results possible. And I do so by manipulating a few very important training variables: volume, total reps and sets, intensity, effort resistance, and of course, recovery. I've coached people for almost 10 years, and I found full body training to be the best way to manage these three very important variables and ultimately produce the best results. A huge benefit to full body training is reduced fatigue and higher quality reps and sets. Anyone who has performed a full leg day will understand the impact fatigue has on the quality of their reps and sets and the weight they can lift, particularly in the final sets. After the third leg exercise, your 10th set, the exercise technique it's certainly taken a hit. Those lunges are wobbly, they lack range of motion, have a drastically reduced load, and have very little time under tension. They suck. Conversely, suppose you were to spread that leg volume out through the week with multiple full body sessions containing much fewer leg sets per session. In that case, you'll perform higher quality reps, sets with more weight during each session, resulting in a much higher weekly total volume, weight times reps times sets, and have a greater hypertrophic response, muscle building response. Another benefit to full body training is more frequent spikes in muscle protein synthesis, as you're training each muscle group more frequently. Following a workout, there is a spike in muscle protein synthesis where the muscles are more sensitive to amino acids and primed for growth. You feed those muscles with some dietary protein and let them grow. When it comes to dietary protein, you're looking for around 1.8 grams of protein per kilo of your body weight. Multiple studies show that higher training frequency can result in more muscle and strength gains, though the evidence is limited and more needed to conclude that more spikes in muscle protein synthesis equals more overall gain. So think of more frequent spikes in muscle protein synthesis as a benefit and not the be all and end all. With full body training, you'll also obtain the benefits of peripheral heart action. The nature of full body training allows you to superset the lower body exercises with upper body exercises, pumping blood to the lower body, then to the upper body, and obtaining the benefits of peripheral heart action training. So, a study done by Alessandro Piras, I think it's pronounced, and colleagues showed the benefit of peripheral heart action, whole body resistance training, mirror those benefits of HIIT training. So increase in muscular strength and maximum oxygen consumption, which means if you do this kind of training, you don't also have to do HIIT training, and HIIT training sucks. You'll also find that your sessions will be quicker. If you're training one muscle group during each session, you're likely to require an immense amount of rest to get you through those sessions, especially leg day. Training your full body, as mentioned, allows you to hit your lower body while your upper body is resting, reducing the rest periods and allowing the session to run much smoother compared to conventional training splits. Some water. Another huge benefit is improved recovery. You probably think I'm crazy adding this to list of benefits, but hear me out. If you're like me, you've likely done your fair share of leg days, chest days, and even shoulder days, and it can take a long time to recover from these sessions. The thought of hitting the muscle again the following day sounds mad. But remember, we're no longer committing one session to fully destroying a muscle group. We're spreading that volume out through the entire body. And you'll find yourself to be much, much less so. Also, after the second or possibly the third week, the repeated bout effect kicks in. This response allows your body to get used to the repeated stimulus and becomes even less so over time. For me, full body training is a no-brainer. There are huge upsides and very few potential drawbacks. I love never having to endure a full leg day, having a full body pump following each session, and generally having more fun and varied workouts. The main benefit to full body training is it facilitates more training volume and does so with less fatigue. It's an intelligent way to spread out your weekly training volume. More studies match volume when comparing low frequency to high frequency training. But in the real world, people who train more frequently hit more volume and do so with better quality reps and sets. This, my friend, translates into more gains for you and for me. Hope you enjoyed this week's video. Next week, I've got a great video planned, another great video planned. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next week.